Less than a month away from WrestleMania 39 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California with Mayor James T. Butts Jr. James T. Butts Jr. That's always going to be hilarious, no matter how much I try to not laugh at the name James T. Butts Jr. But enough about James T. Butts Jr. Before we get to Inglewood, California and SoFi Stadium, we're on the show to WrestleMania, and that makes us stop in our nation's capital. Let's talk about the show, shall we? I'm Joe Renton with my review WWE Smackdown from, yes, Washington, D.C. And goodness goddamn me, this crowd certainly was quite hot. And it's going to be interesting to see how they let this Cody and Roman story play out, and also how the Bloodline story plays out, and a couple other things. There were things I did not like on this show. I think you can probably guess what. I do want to apologize for the delay with this review. Here's the reason why. I had to work tonight, and basically I had to cover a different shift, and that's why you're getting this review a number of hours later. So yeah, less than a month to go until WrestleMania 39. There are a few matches I'm looking forward to. There are a couple that I just am not looking forward to at all. But first we have the Bloodline entrance. Everybody's there except Jay. Jay's not there. Jay's not here, man. And they're, acknowledge me, all that. And then here's Cody out to a pop, a sizable pop, and an insane amount of pyro. Good God, the insincerity and the just over-the-top nature of this goddamn shit. It is so ridiculous. Now, there are people that are into it. If you're like me, and I know I am, you're seeing right through it. There is no difference between how he's presented in AEW and how he's presented here. People are buying into it. They're eating it up, and that's fine if you are. If you're buying into this, that's great. It's all bullshit and synthetic. It's not, it doesn't feel genuine. It's insincere. Anyway, so he says, well, why do you need everybody out here? I thought we could have a conversation one-on-one. So then Roman says, well, so what do you want to talk about? Because he has everybody leave. And then Cody talks about doing the impossible. Well, doing the impossible is kind of my thing. Oh, he'll never get past Stardust. Well, never, me and my friends can never get 10,000 people to come and watch, our show. And just various things and all that. And Cody basically talks about all the stuff, and it's so rehearsed. Roman even mentions, boy, did you rehearse that all week? Because Cody workshops his goddamn shit. Even if he is given some bullet points here, it's so rehearsed. I'm sorry. It is so goddamn rehearsed. It's one thing to have notes. If you're an idiot talking about wrestling like I do, or like so many other people do. But good God, nothing about Cody feels genuine. I'm not saying that he didn't love his dad. I'm not saying this aspect about his dad isn't true. It just doesn't work for me. I see right through it. But anyway, basically Roman ends up saying, well, I was raised in this business. I was raised to be great, not just by my father, but by yours. And no, I'm not going to knock Dusty. I have too much respect for Dusty. He saw this in me well before I did. And all the main events and all that stuff. And you know what, Cody? He never mentioned you. Maybe he did around Seth. Maybe he did around Kevin. Maybe he did around Becky. But he never mentioned you around me. And, well, maybe he's the son that... Maybe I'm the son that he always wanted or whatever. And if there's anything that he didn't teach you, I will. And then Cody... that, oh, if you're the son that he always wanted, well, this changes everything. This is a necessity, da-da-da. And I'm sorry, Roman fucking schooled him here. He did. I mean, it was a long opening segment. I mean, from the intro to the time that everybody left the ring, we were 20 minutes into the program. Now, that being said, given a couple of the other things that were on this program, it's probably a good thing that we had this go long. Are you any more excited for Cody versus Roman? Look, it's going to be a big moment when Cody beats Roman, and by God, he better beat Roman. If he does not beat Roman at Mania 39, I know I said about Drew not beating Roman was going to be like Lex Luger. Oh no, this is going to be worse. This is going to be far, far worse. This is going to basically cripple Cody. It's going to be crippled Cody Rhodes is what it's going to be. I'm not saying that he has to hold the title for a goddamn year or 2 years or whatever. He could hold it, for 6 goddamn months and drop it. If he don't beat Roman at Mania, he's fucked. So anyway, Rhea with Dominic. Unfortunately, I am not allowed to even have a moment of peace. I have to deal with the man to make Eric Watts and David Flair seem competent by comparison. And Rhea took on Liv. 30 minutes, well, 28 minutes into this show, but basically we are a quarter of the way through the show and we get to the first match. Rhea in those shorts, good God. Liv in those shorts, good God. You know what? Former tag team members explode. This whole idea of Liv liking pain and just having to take everything basically to keep her down and everything, and that sounded a lot less dirty in my head before I said it. That's fine. Rhea chokes Liv on camera. I usually have to pay extra to see a brunette and a dirty blonde choke each other and fist each other on camera. Always delete your search history, by the way. Haven't broke that out in a while. Knee strike by Liv, and then she gets stopped on a dive, and we go to break, and Rhea dominates her for a bit, and then Liv comes back with a nice code breaker off the ropes. This wasn't bad. This was well done. The way Rhea sells, I mean, she like almost flipped out of that code breaker. That was pretty goddamn cool. And then she stopped her with a powerbomb counter off the ropes. Rhea stopped Liv, too many pronouns, pal. And then hit the riptide, but then got the clover queef on. I'm sorry. That is what I call it. I have issues. And gets Liv to tap out. Because she just leans on her. Lean on me. Ow, if you're not. Ow, my neck. I need that. And there you go. Roman is running out of patience with Jimmy over Jay. Speaking of running out of patience, Dominic is still on my television. I know that he is going to be part of the brand, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Escobar will teach Dominic a lesson. Can you teach him how to wrestle? I don't think he can. Escobar, who is a face now, apparently. I mean, I'm not even knocking. And Escobar's there. And, hey, we don't have to deal with Zelina. I mean, Zelina could have been on camera. I could have overlooked her. I mean, she can walk under the bottom rope without ducking. But Escobar's there. Versus Dominic with Rhea. Dominic is rotten. David Flair looked competent in the ring compared to him. Now, I know the idea is he's supposed to be a chicken shit and he's just supposed to be a guy that needs every bit of help in the book to get the victory. But you know what? That worked in the past. It doesn't really work now. It doesn't. This made Escobar look like an idiot. By the way, Escobar got beat after a referee distraction where the referee was distracted for 18 years while Rhea hit the riptide and then Dominic hit the frog splash, 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, that pretty much cools Escobar off for about the next 3 months. And I know they did it because Escobar got the mask from Ray, and they were doing the thing where the mask from Ray was there in the corner and all that and whatever. And yay! Ray won't hit Dominic or whatever, won't hit Dominic. I'm starting to think that a certain crippler targeted the wrong family. That was mean. I don't really care. I can't stand. I feel such an unyielding amount of rage seeing Dominic when I see so many other people that are actually talented that could benefit from being in a company like this. And I'm not saying that he's not a nice guy. Apparently he is. You know what? People are enjoying this. Oh, it's going to be great when Ray finally beats up Dominic and everything. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is a bad feud. People like it, that's fine. Speaking of things that are really bad, though, he gets us. Bunch of bigots, bunch of goddamn morons, and if you believe in that version of Jesus, fuck you. In fact, fuck your Bible. I would tear it in front of you and rip it up every chance I got. If I could, because it's a storybook. That's all it is. He gets us also run by bigots and morons and whatever. So, yeah. Sammy is on social media somewhere in the arena. The Bloodline is going down, baby. McIntyre wants a Mania match. He calls out Gunther. Sheamus comes out. They get pissed at each other. And then LA Knight shows up to a pretty sizable pop, and they are into him, despite that fucking Bray feud practically crippling him and being terrible for wrestling. LA Knight got a pretty good cheer here. Got a pretty good pop, and then New Day shows up and does bad comedy. And then Cross shows up in a weird cartel shirt for some reason. And they have a melee. This went from fine to woof. And then earlier today, Ronda got attacked. Apparently, Ronda either has an arm injury or it was a precaution. I don't know. Maybe don't point at the Sandy Hook conspiracy theory sign that you were pointing at before, you twat. I don't wish injury on people, but if Ronda actually is injured and is unable to wrestle for a while, oh, darn. because she's been so beneficial to the company lately. Rhea already wrestled. Shayna then beat Tegan in about 15 seconds. Or, I mean, it wasn't 15 seconds, but it felt like it. Remember when Tegan came back and had absolutely no reaction? I have nothing against her, but it's like she is just such a pointless signing. Hey, at least Hit Row wasn't there. That's probably why the show wasn't all that bad. And then Kayla's with Imperium. Gunther, what's a worthy opponent for Mania? Lashley shows up. I got excited, then I realized, shit, I like Lashley, but this means the Bray shit's gonna happen. And then Uncle Howdy showed up. And then Uncle Howdy got laid out after attacking Lashley. And then the lights went out when he set up the spear. Lashley deserves better. This is bad for wrestling. Fuck you, Triple H, for bringing Bray back and not actually making him wrestle. How dare you? How dare you, Triple H? How dare you? Yes, Bray moves merch. And Charles Manson also was able to move the minds of people to do his bidding. Jim Jones was able to move Kool-Aid into the hands of people. That doesn't mean that Bray Wyatt is a benefit to professional wrestling as far as in-ring stuff. Now, if you like it, that's great. I would much rather hit my head into a goddamn cinder block repeatedly, and it would achieve about the same goddamn result. Maybe if I hit my head into it repeatedly, maybe it'll start to make sense. Or maybe I'll still have less of a headache than I do watching anything that Bray Wyatt does, because yes, people are fans of his, and that's fine. You guys be fans of his all you want. I say, go to fucking Blumhouse, you actor. You're not a wrestler. You come from a wrestling family. You're an actor. Jimmy then spoke to Jay. He needs more time. Roman, is that all he said? No, he actually said to leave him the hell alone. Roman is pissed and basically says, get rid of Sammy and Jay will come home. Don't worry, I'll do that, Jimmy says. Get rid of Sammy and Jay will come home. I'm confusing the names here, but anyway, Roman then says to Heyman after Jimmy leaves, Jay has 1 week, or otherwise I'll blame Jimmy. And then next week we get Kofi, Sheamus, Drew, Knight, and Cross in a fatal five-way match. Winner faces Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Have it be Drew and have Drew lose. Please have Gunther break the Honky Tonk Man's record, because if he doesn't, no one's breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record. No one that deserves to, at least. Raiders versus Team YU Bald, and if there was other stuff announced, I don't know and I don't care. Zayn showed up to a big pop and took on Solo, and before that, Jimmy tried to run at him. Sammy threw him out, did a dive, big pop, good stuff. Good start. And then the bell rings once him and Solo get in the ring. And even though Sammy fires up for a bit, he gets laid out, thrown around over the barricade, gets beaten down for a bit, fires back a little bit, big lariat, gets laid out with a Samoan drop. And then a tornado DDT spike that Solo took beautifully. And Jimmy saved Solo from the haluva kick. And then Samoan spike. He thumbed him. 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And then the beatdown, Jimmy is pissed. He puts the chair over Sammy's head. He's gonna, run him in the court. Solo's gonna do that. He's like, no, I got the Zeus. Let me do it. And then Sammy manages to get up, threw the chair at Solo's head. Ooh. And then managed to knock Jimmy down as well. And was gonna hit Jimmy with the chair, but then Solo rose back up and he ran out into the crowd and everything. And we couldn't possibly catch him 50 feet away, but it is what it is. Okay, pretty good hook for the next show. And we have Raw in Boston. Roston, as it were, where Wah-ba-ba-ba is going to show up. And there you go. Not the best episode of Smackdown. Certainly not bad. I'm not upset. I missed watching this one live. That being said, I will be back next week watching this stuff live. So I'll be extra happy if some bullshit like the Bray and Dominic stuff happens again. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charles Franklin. I'll see you soon.